कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुष्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावंशारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं कौ नयाति परां गतिम् यत्पिबं सततं रामचरितामृतासागरम् अदृप्तस्तं मुनिं वन्दे प्राचेतसमकल्मषम् गोष्पदीकृतवाराशं मसकीकृतराक्षसं रामायणमहामाला रत्नं वन्दे अनिलात्मजम् अंजनानन्दनं वीरं जानकीशोकनाशनं कपीशमक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम् आमिषीकृतमार्ताण्डं गोष्पदीकृतसागरं तृणीकृतदशग्रीवम् आञ्जनेयं नमाम्यहम् उल्लङ्घ्य सिन्धोस्सलिलस्सलीलं यशोकवह्निं जनकात्मजायाः आदाय तेनेव ददाह लङ्कां नमामि तं प्राञ्जलिराञ्जनेयम् आञ्जनेयमतिपाटलाननं काञ्चनाद्रिकमनीयविग्रहं पारिजाततरुमूलवासिनं भावयामि कौमाननन्दनं यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकं मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि यत्कर्णाञ्जलिसम्पुटैः हरः सम्यक् पिबत्यादरात् वाल्मीकिर्वदनारविन्दगलितं रामायणाख्यं मधुः जन्मव्याधिजराविपत्तिमरणैः अत्यन्तसोपद्रवं संसारसहविहाय गच्छति पुमान् विष्णोर्पदं शाश्वतं तदुपगतसमाससन्धियोगं सममधुरोपनतार्धवाक्यबद्धं रघुवरचरितं मुनिप्रणीतं दशशिरसश्च वदं निशामयध्वम् वाल्मीकिगिरिसम्भूतानां रामसागरगामिनि पुनादुभुवनं पुण्यात् रामायणं महानदी श्लोकसारसमाकीर्णं सर्गकल्लोलसङ्कुलं काण्डग्राह्यमहामीनं वन्दे रामायणार्णवम् वेदवेदे परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजं वेदः प्राचेतसादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना वैदेही सहितं सुरुद्रमुतले हरिमे महामण्डपे मध्ये पुष्पकमासने मणिमये वीरासने सुस्थितम् अग्रे वाच इति प्रपञ्चनसुते तत्त्वं मणिभ्यपरं वाक्यान्तं भरताद्भिः परिवृतं रामं भजे श्यामलम् वामे भूमिसुता पुरश्च हनुमान् पाश्चात् सुमित्रासुतः शत्रुघ्नो भरतश्च पार्श्वतलयोः वायव्यादिकोणेषु च सुग्रीवश्च विभीषणश्च युवराट् तारास्तो जाम्बवान् मध्ये नीलसरोजकोमलरुचिं रामं भजे श्यामलम् माता रामो मत्पिता रामो भ्राता रामो मत्सखा राघवेशः सर्वस्वं मे रामचन्द्रो दयाळु नान्यदेवं नैव जाने न जाने साकेते शरदिन्दुकुन्दधवळे सौदे महामण्डपे पर्यस्ता अगरुदूपदीपललिते कर्पूरदीपोज्ज्वले सुग्रीवाङ्गदजाम्बवत् परिवृतं सौमित्रिणा सेवितं लीलामानुषविग्रहं रघुवरं रामं भजे श्यामलम् मेघश्यामं महाबाहुं स्थिरसत्त्वं दृढव्रतं कदा द्राक्ष्यामहे रामं जगतः शोकनाशनं जयत्यतिबलो रामो लक्ष्मणश्च महाबलः राजा जयति सुग्रीवा राघवेण अभिपालितः दासोऽहं कौसलेन्द्रस्य रामस्य क्लिष्टकर्मणः हनुमान् शत्रुसैन्यानां निहन्तां मारुतात्मजः न रावणसहस्रं मे युद्धे प्रतिबलं भवेत् शिलादिस्तु प्रहर्तारपादपैश्च सहस्रशः अर्धयित्वां पुरीं लङ्काम् अभिवाद्यश्च मयूरीं सर्वदार्दो गमिष्यामि विशतां सर्वराक्षसां धर्मात्मा सत्यसन्धश्च रामो दासविद्रियति पौरुषे च अप्रतिद्वन्द्वः शरयेन जहि रावणीम् नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामे नमस्ते सरस्वते देवगौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे तपस्वाध्याय निरतां तपस्विन् वाग्विदाम्बरं नारदं परिवप्रच्छ वाल्मीकिमुनिपुङ्गवम् ओम रामाय नमः। So last week, Rama has planted the arrow in Vali's heart, and Vali was giggling. And to some of the questions that were posed last week, the answers would come within the story itself, within Ramayana itself. I didn't mention because they are part of the epic itself. So Tara was informed about Rama vanquishing Vali. And Vali was wriggling in pain in front of Ramachandra. Hanuman, Lakshmana, Sugriva, Nala, Neela, Tara, they are all besides Ramachandra. Rama was still holding the bow, and then the monkeys, which saw this war between Sugriva and Vali, and after Rama has struck down Vali, they fled in fear. They thought this arrow of Rama that fell Vali, that has gone past the adamantine frame of Vali can beat anything else in the universe. And they are following us also. I mean, those arrows are following us also to kill. So when the Vanaras thought like that, they fled and informed Tara. Actually, Tara was informed about the news, and then Tara was going forward and she was weeping, and then she saw all these Vanaras fleeing away. And she called upon the Vanaras and she said, "Why are you fleeing away when your Lord has been struck by the enemy brother of him with the help of Ramachandra?" And when she asked that question to the Vanaras replied, "O lady, who, having your son still alive, it is apt of you to go to Kishkinda and install him as the king. That Rama, who can kill Vali, can kill all these Vanaras also. First go and install Angada as the crown prince, then we will stand beside him and fight with Rama." Then they also said, "Your husband Vali threw Salavrakshas and also elephantine rocks, but Rama with a single arrow has killed him." Now they say that Vali has thrown stones and boulders and trees against Rama. So this is a first-hand evidence, like from the eyewitnesses who witnessed the war between Rama and Vali. They are telling that Vali has, slung some of the boulders and trees towards Rama. So that itself shows that there was a little war between Rama and Vali. But Rama struck him down with one arrow. So Vali was also fighting against Rama, but he struck him down. But you might ask them, why didn't Rama reply back to Vali when he accused him? Vali also did not accuse that you shot me from behind or when I was not knowing what was happening. He accused that I was engaged in fight with somebody else, but I never expected you to fight with me. You haven't offered me help, but suddenly you have come to fight with me. I didn't realize that you were fighting with me. So if had I have known, I would have surrendered. Maybe that was his intent. So that explanation is given in this part of the story where the Vanaras who are fleeing away, listening, when they heard about the death of Vali, they told Tara, they explained the thing. So this even further clarifies any doubts that anybody has that was there a fight between Rama struck him down from behind or not. And as I said, the arrow was in his chest, so it was not shot from behind but from his front. But anyway, so Tara asked, when she questioned, all the Vanaras replied this way, that Vali, who can throw boulders and trees, who threw boulders and trees at Rama, is killed with an arrow. Those arrows are resplendent, they are very shiny. So Tara, so please go back and install Angada as crown prince. But then she said, when the lord of your tribe and the king of your clan is being struck down and he is on the floor, how can we go back to the kingdom and install Angada as crown prince? And let there be 1,000 sons like Angada, but my husband is more worthy to me than anybody else. So saying, Tara lamenting, she stepped forward. And then she went to the place where Rama standing, and Vali was there lying on the ground. And all the women folk also followed Tara. And also all the other Vanaras, they were fleeing, but they stood back and then they were going, pacing slowly behind Tara. The Vanaras also informed Tara that those that are inclined towards their wives in Kishkinda, those monkeys will come and attack us along with Rama. Why did they say that? Because Sugriva's wife is usurped and kept in Kishkinda, and similarly there were some other Vanaras who followed the footsteps of Vali and did the same thing to other Vanaras as well. Or they might be, it's just the wives of Nala, Neela and Tara. If you look at Vanara army, the most powerful of the entire Vanara army was Hanuman. Marutasya Aurasaha, Sriman Hanuman Nama Vanaraha, Sarva Vanara Mukhyeshu Buddhiman Balavanapi. So he is the most powerful among all the Vanaras. But next to Hanuman, excluding Sugriva and Vali, Nala, Neela are the most powerful. Of course, Neela is the most powerful because he is the son of fire god. If you go to Yuddhakanda, in Yuddhakanda it is clearly stated that Hanuman himself states, in the beginning of Sundarakanda, he says, who can cross this mighty ocean and come here and look at this Lanka? Who can break these barriers and attack? Who can do this? Then he says, Chaturnameve Vanaranam Mahatmanam Neelasya Valiputrasya Mamaragnesya Dhimataha. He says, only 4 Vanaras can cross this ocean. Chaturnameve Vanaranam Mahatmanam Valiputrasya, Vali's son Angada, Neelasya, Neela, Mamaragnesya Dhimataha, and my king Sugriva, of course, along with me. So Angada is not there right now with Sugriva, but Neela is there. So Neela was very powerful. So they will come and attack this Kishkinda. So the Vanaras were telling the same thing to Tara. But now, she's proceeding, and then all the women folk, Vanara, female Vanaras and other Vanaras, they followed Tara. They all went to that place. First, Tara saw Rama, Lakshmana and Hanuman. They were all standing there. But then she went past them, and then she fell at Vali, where the body of Vali was lying in the dust. Then she wailed out loudly, "O my dear husband, O valiant one, you who have killed so many warriors and who have made them to sleep on the battleground, now you yourself are lying on that bed. For you today, this bed of dust has become more dear than myself." She started to cry. "And look at your orphaned son. What is the future of him without the father?" She cried out. And she also said, "I have been telling you since long time not to indulge yourself in wars, but you never listen to me. And it is also said, it is a saying, that the fathers of girls should be considerate, that they should never offer their girls to an adventurous person like you. But my father still did. And that resulted in the war widowhood of mine. Now I became a war widow. I am widowed. What is the value of that lady whose husband is dead, in spite of she having hundreds of children and lot of wealth?" She cried out. And she said, "I told you." Actually, Tara tells, before Sugriva, before Vali goes to fight Sugriva for the second time she informs, "Your brother Sugriva is a very dexterous person, very adept. He never takes shelter of any person without testing them. He is an expert in that. He has already tested Rama and he took shelter under him." She informs him. So now she cries out again, "I told you, you have never heeded to my advice. And you have lied down here. O king of the monkeys, please wake up. Look at me, look at your son Angada. Please bid him farewell words. Get up and tell some good words for him before you leave." But Vali did not wake up. He is still alive. He is just unconscious. And then Angada also came forward and he was trembling and he was crying. And then Tara looked at Rama. And then she got up and she was angry and she was crying. Rama stepped forward, slowly walking towards her. And then Tara immediately ran towards Rama. Here Valmiki clearly mentions, first she was very angry, but then when she came close, she immediately changed her posture to as obedient and subservient regal lady. And then she started addressing Ramachandra. "Oh my lord, you who can send even Indra, you who can kill even Indra, you who are so powerful, you who have killed my husband, now plant another arrow in my heart and kill me also." and please bestow me this boon to follow my husband. And killing women for this purpose is not a sin. Actually, Rama was explained this sin of the killing of a woman right in the beginning of his journey, when he killed Tataka. Vishwamitra pleads Ramachandra to shoot the arrow towards Tataka, but Rama never does. Then finally Vishwamitra says, enough of your compassion, Rama, the time has gone past, it's been a long time, and it's going to be evening and the Rakshasa will gain strength, you have to kill now. And he tells him two stories of Vishnu killing, the mother of Sukracharya, the wife, the mother of Sukracharya, wife of another guru of the demigods. At some circumstances you can kill them. When they, Vishwamitra explains him all, he justifies killing of a woman at certain circumstances. Then Rama says, for the pleasure of cows and brahmanas, and because my father has ordered to follow you, I will kill Tataka. So he killed. But now Tara is also pleading in another way, and she tells him several examples how it is justified to kill a woman under certain circumstances. And she says, you can kill me now because I want to follow my husband, so you can kill me. I want to give up my body so that I can sit on the pyre, on the funeral pyre along with my husband and leave this planet. When she was weeping loud in that tone, then Hanuman approached Tara. Then Hanuman said to Tara, Sochya kam socyam deenam kampase kahcha kasya anusochyo asti dehe asmin budbudopame. He says, O lamentable one, for whose sake are you lamenting? For which lamentable one are you lamenting? O pitiable one, for which pitiable one are you expressing your sympathy? When you yourself are in such a lamentable state and in such a pitiable state, don't you know that these bodies are like bubbles? Asti dehe asmin budbudopame. They are like bubbles. And he says all the mrigas, all the bhutas, the living entities, reap those fruits for which the seeds they have sown in their past life, and also in their existing life, whatever karmas they have done, they will reap the same benefits or malefic effects of such deeds after their death, at the time of their death. Don't you know all these things? You know that. Then why today are you lamenting? It's a very similar sloka in Bhagavad Gita also. Sochya sikam socyam. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Asocyan anosocastvam prajnavadamsya bhasase gatasuna gatasuncha nanusochanti panditaha. I mean, for those who are not worthy of your thinking, if you think about them, Asocyan anosocastvam prajnavadamsya bhasase. And Arjuna, you are talking like a learned scholar, but you don't know that you should not think about those that are not worthy to think about. Asocyan anosocastvam prajnavadamsya bhasase. Gatasuna gatasuncha nanusochanti panditaha. I mean, the panditas will never think about what has happened in the past. So Hanuman also explains her in detail how she should not lament, and and Hanuman says to Tara that your duty now as a mother is more than your duty as a wife to your husband. Take Angada, the young prince, and crown him as a crown prince of Kishkinda. Take care of him. And you should represent all these vanaras. You, with your wise words, should guide them. Even Hanuman says this because Tara, she's a adept speaker. She's a dexterous speaker. You will see it when she tries to pacify Lakshmana in the future episodes. That's why even Sugriva sends Tara to talk to Lakshmana, because nobody else can pacify Lakshmana. So when Hanuman said all these things, still Tara says the same thing. For me, my husband is more than my son Angada. So she cries. But Rama then tells both Tara and Sugriva also. Sugriva, upon looking at Tara's grief, now he also succumbs to grief. And now he says, my brother, who was like an elderly brother, have always punished me but never killed me. He was never with a malicious intent towards me. But I today have brought disgrace upon the fraternity of brothers by killing my brother, Vali. I still remember when he hit me and when I ran away to Mount Malaya, Mount Rishamukha, then he uttered, saying that this is a lesson to you, O Sugriva, never come back again, else I will punish you. And it was like a schoolmaster's cane that lashed upon my back, but I never realized how tender his heart was. But today, with malicious intention, I came here and killed him. So Sugriva also succumbed to such sorrow, and he asked Rama, my dear Rama, I have no desire now to rule the kingdom. I want to go back along with my brother. Let Angada be the prince, and all these Vanaras will help you. But I want to follow my brother. When Sugriva said that, Rama's eyes also moistened. But why? That's because he knows that is a brotherly love, but because of a instinct, the anger and instinct, you commit something that is hyenas, and you can't bring it back. But in all ways in Ramayana, Vali, even though Valmiki presents the chivalry and the impetuous, gallant attitude of Vali and his tenderness, still the Vanara king needs to be killed because of his adharmic associations. The slain warrior is a noble knight only this day when Rama's arrow struck him down. Because of sympathy, he portrays himself as if he is a noble knight. But when you explore into his past deeds, such nobility has not taken shape before he is vanquished. The same thing we can observe even with Ravana also in Lanka. He never spoke to his ministers in a humble tone. But when everybody is dead, when Indrajit is dead, he wants to kill Sita. So he goes there with a sword to kill Sita. Then another Rakshasa pacifies him, saying that you should not do this. Don't you know that you are a king? You cannot kill a woman. Don't you realize you have read all the Vedas and Shastras? Then, yes, you are right, I should not do this. Then he talks in a humble tone to that Rakshasa. So, earlier when he was proud and vain of his glory and power, Ravana never spoke in such a tone to his subordinates, but this was the first time. But similarly, when at times the feelings of sympathy overtake any other feelings that is natural. So we can see that even in Sugriva, his wife was Azat, he has been thrown out of the kingdom with a single cloth, he has been bashed and he was humiliated. But still, when Vali was dying, even Sugriva himself felt that compassionate feelings, and he said, Rama, I want to follow my brother. I killed my brother, and it's a shame on me. And who will forgive me? Indra killed Virupaksha, and he attained the Brahmahatya Patuka. But then his sins were accepted by rivers, trees, Mother Earth, and a woman. But who will accept my sins? Virupaksha was son of Twashta. Then when Brahaspati went away, that he would no more guide the demigods for some time, they brought Virupaksha and put him in the place of Brahaspati. But Virupaksha, when he was offering the oblations in fire to the demigods, the fruits of it, part of them he used to divert them to Rakshasas also, because part of his origin was Asuric. So when Indra knew this, he slayed Virupaksha. Then he got these sins, Brahmahatya Patuka. Then earth, water, trees and women, bartered that we will take these sins, but give us some boons. So then he gave some boons. The rivers, the waters that took the sins of Indra, they asked for the boon that, we should self-purify ourselves, as time progresses. Similarly, you see rivers, even if you dump all the drainage into the river here, but downstream it will be purified. I mean, it is a natural process. As it flows, it gets purified, it gets aerated and purified. And Mother Earth asked for the boon that she should get an automatic refill whenever she is dug. Like when you dig a pit in the earth and when you leave it, it gets automatically filled up. That was one of her boons. And then the trees asked that if our branches are cut, if our limbs are cut, they should grow automatically. The same thing happens. But for a human being, if you cut it, they won't grow. It's kind of very surprising, right, when you analyze living beings. So these were, the things that were accepted by rivers and earth and trees. But who will accept my sins? So Sugriva is questioning. Then he said, I shall follow my brother. But then Rama told Tara and Sugriva also, it is the way of the world. God has designed it that way, that myth and misery are a part and parcel of your life, and you cannot come out of it. It is childish nonsense to explore for happiness and not find unhappiness. Right? This world is an entanglement of happiness and unhappiness, and if one who tries to find only happiness but not unhappiness, he's a childish nonsense. So Rama told this, and then told him, don't you know that God has created this world like this? And fate is the only thing that dictates a person's destiny. And Rama talks about time and fate indirectly, not stating that he is the one who is time and who is fate. In the later version, when he came as Krishna, he directly accepted that I am the end. It is me who is controlling everything. And when Rama told this to Sugriva and Tara, they were pacified, and he said, what needs to be done now should be done at the current moment. So conduct the funeral of Vali right now. That is your duty. Then when they said that, when Rama said that, actually Hanuman also, when he talks to Tara, he tells the same thing. What needs to be done right now needs to be done. So when Rama spoke this way, then they arranged for the funeral of Vali. First, Lakshmana calls out Neela, and he tells, my dear Neela, you go and arrange for a nice palanquin, so that the litter of the dead can be taken away. You can take this Vali. Oh, I'm sorry. But before this, when they were all talking like this, when Angada came and when Tara was talking about his son, Vali got up. When Sugriva was also talking like this, he got out and he said, my dear Rama, Angada is my only son, and I have given him all good things from childhood. But today he is going to be an orphan. You have to take care of him. I entrust Angada to you. And to Sugriva also he says, my dear Sugriva, do not treat me as your enemy brother. What has been done is done. It is unfortunate that we could not share bliss and happiness together. My heart was so small that it had no space for you. And Kishkinda was such a small kingdom that we could not share it, in a brotherly feeling. But today, now you are the king and crowned prince. Now you take care of Angada and never look upon him as your enemy brother's son. And also Tara, the wise lady, treat her nicely. She never provocated me to be against you. She never did that. Don't consider her in such manner. And he also tells Angada, Vali tells Angada that, my dear Angada, you maintain friendship with Sugriva. Whatever you have done when I was alive may not be approved by your now foster father Sugriva. And also maintain a distance from Sugriva. Don't be too friendly, don't be too enmity. Just maintain an intermediate relationship, because that's what, maintain a diplomatic relationship. Then only that is the right thing for you to do. And when he said that, and he tells Sugriva also that, my dear Sugriva, take this golden pendant which is on my heart, which is now lying on my neck. Take this before it gets insulted by touching my dead body. And he takes that out and gives it to Sugriva, and Sugriva, upon the consent of Vali, he takes it. Then he tells, I entrust my son Angada also to you, Ramachandra. He will fight and he will prove himself as a worthy son of Vali in the war. He will kill many a demons in Lanka. So take him and assign him a division of your army. So he says that, and he gives the pendant to Sugriva. Then his eyes roll up, and then his mouth, opened up, flinging wide open his jaws, and he's revealing his horrid teeth. And then he opens his mouth and he dies. That's how Vali dies. You know why he dies now? Only after removing that pendant, because that golden pendant has the capacity to take half the power of whomever it encounters. So now he encountered with the Yama, the death. So he is battling because he had that power. He's taking half the power of the death. But that death is caused by the arrow of Rama. That arrow of Rama is infinite in its strength. So even though the pendant was deriving half of the power of the arrow, still the arrow's power is so infinite that the pendant could never come up the strength of Rama's arrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Out of the infinite, you take a part of it, the part remains equivalent to the whole from which it is taken. And in spite of this part being taken out of the whole yet remains the whole. This was the sloka in the Upanishads. So Vali's boon from Indra was, he can take half the power from whomever he is battling. If it is Sugriva, he can take half of Sugriva. If it is Hanuman, he can take half of it. But the container of this pendant is limited. It cannot take the unlimited potential of Rama. Because even though no matter how much ever you take from Rama, it still keeps coming. It's an Akshaya. He's infinite. So that's why he was not able to die, and still he was wriggling in pain. So that's why he removed the pendant and gives it to Sugriva, then he loses his life. So even after having that pendant, he cannot defeat Rama. Because of, that is supported by the Upanishads. And with all this logic, we can prove all the adherents of Vali, whoever proudly proclaimed that, Rama killed him from behind. But no. And for this reason, Rama killed him from behind. They pose this thing. But that can be ruled out. But anyway, when Vali's mouth flung wide open and when he's dead, Tara again cried out and she said, I am not able to embrace you because of this arrow which is planted in your heart. It is coming in between us. When she is crying like that, they told Neela to remove the arrow. And Neela, removed that arrow as if one removes a snake from a snake pit. That Valmikam. From an anthill, one removes a snake. Like that. Neela removed that arrow, and blood gushed out from Vali's body, and it lay there in the blood. Then, when Lakshmana ordered Neela to bring a palanquin so that the litter of the dead can be moved away and the funeral can be performed, Neela ordered some sturdy Vanaras. Actually, Lakshmana only tells all these things. Bring sturdy Vanaras who can carry that palanquin. And when Neela orders all of them, they bring a very beautiful palanquin that is topped with a red sandalwood thing, and it has it is grilled. It has golden grills on which soldiers are carved, on which birds, mountains, and other kinds of trees are carved on it. So such a palanquin Neela brings, and on that palanquin they lift Vali and then put him on that, and then they carry him, and everybody is weeping behind that palanquin. Sugriva also orders that let gemstones and all other things will be strewn on the path on which Vali is being taken, and let him give a royal farewell. So when they did that, when they entered the woods, and then they started crying loudly, and the woods echoed with the wailings of all these Vanaras. And they took Vali to such a place where on a sandy island, it was surrounded by waters, it was a sandy island, it was full of waterfalls and things like that. It was such a place. And they placed him on sandalwood, and then they lit the fire, and Angada lifted his father Vali reluctantly, and then placed him on the pyre, and Vali was cremated. And Rama was also there present. He was still holding the bow and arrow, so that any monkey out of the pain because of the leader's death would jump on him. He was still attacking. So he was controlling all of them with that arrow. He was still holding that in his hand. So when Vali was cremated, then Hanuman comes to Rama and says, "My dear Rama, let Sugriva be crowned as the king of Kishkinda. You please attend that ceremony. Help us in conducting that. Please come into Kishkinda, this cavernous cave of Kishkinda." Kishkinda is inside a huge cave. So Hanuman welcomes him. But Rama says, "Because I have given my promise to my father Dasaratha that I cannot enter any village or kingdom, I cannot come into Kishkinda. Let the ceremony commence in my absence." But he tells all the ministers, "You take care of Sugriva's coronation ceremony, bring all the waters from everywhere and crown him." He tells all his ministers, speak to him wisely, and he gives all the advices. Then Sugriva is taken into Kishkinda. There they crown him. They bring chatra, chamara, whisks and all that. They bring many jewels. They bring all kinds of waters, flowers that are laden with latex, because when you pluck a flower, the milk, you can see the latex from there. So like that, when they plucked all those flowers and trees, they were still laden with that latex. They were fresh. They brought all such kind of things, and then they crowned Sugriva as a prince, and Sugriva enjoyed it a lot, because he got the golden pendant. Now he got back his wife Ruma, and now he got Tara also, and then Angada and everybody else. So he was staying there with his kith and kin. Rama said that I would stay at this Mount Prasravanagiri. The mountain on which Rama stayed is Prasravanagiri. He said, I will stay here for the rainy season, because Shravana Masa has commenced. This is the month of Shravana. We are in the first part of Shravana Masa. So this is the rainy season, Varsha Ritu. So only after the Varsha Ritu, let us search for Sita. Until then, you can stay in your kingdom, but see me after the Varsha Ritu. And Rama said that, Sugriva went away. And then Rama stayed at Mount Prasravana until the rainy season is over. He stayed there for 4 months, which is during August and September. That's the rainy season. And Rama, Lakshmana, when they were staying on that Mount Prasravana, it is not written in Valmiki Ramayana that even at least once Sugriva came there to see him. So Rama is explaining the beauty of the rainy season to Lakshmana. Oh Lakshmana, look at the clouds as if they are bandages tied to the sky. So even in those days they had white bandages. They used cotton like that. It says, look at the clouds. They are like white bandages in the sky, tied to an injured soldier. The sun is not present. The stars are not there. You can see water at every place. All the clouds are impregnated by the sun with waters. So even in those days they knew how rains are caused. When we were children, we didn't know how rains are caused until one science teacher explained it, right? But if they had told Ramayana, children would have known how rains are caused. Because of the sun, the water is evaporated and then they form into clouds. So Rama is telling, if the clouds are impregnated by the sun with a lot of water, and now it's time for them to dump it down on earth. And look at all the trees, Karnikara, Arjuna, Tilaka, Padmaka trees, they are all laden with flowers. There are bouquets of flowers. Their branches are hanging down with the weight of these flowers. And look at the honeybees. They are singing Samaveda. It is like the singing of the Samaveda, just like the Brahmanas sing in the Kartik, in Bhadravada, I think, in the first week they sing Samaveda. I think Kartika Shukla Pada or something. I mean, during the waning of the moon, in the first week, they start singing the Samaveda. The honeybees are singing the songs like that. And look at all these birds, the water birds, Chakravaka birds. Karandava birds, and the peacocks and peahens, they're all very happy and dancing because of these rains. And look at the frogs, they're also croaking, because the rainy season has arrived. And look at these mountains, they're all washed away because of these waters, they are washed nicely. And look at the minerals on this mountain, they're all of different colors, and they're splendidly, exquisitely expressing their beauty, displaying their beauty. So Rama explains the beauty of the rainy season there to Lakshmana. And then he continues, let's stay here for these 4 months in this cave. Let's sleep the rainy nights in the cave, and in the mornings let's come out. And it looks like there's a huge black stone in front of that cave. They sit on it, and then that's how their days progress. And Lakshmana used to fetch fruits, roots and honey for Rama while they were staying at Mount Prasravana. Like that 4 months have passed, and then suddenly one day Rama looked depressed because he remembered Sita, and he also remembered that Sugriva is not coming, the time has passed and he is not here yet. So Rama was depressive. Depressive. Then Lakshmana came and encouraged him. Actually, before the 4 months finish, even before that, Rama gets depressed in the middle. Then Lakshmana encourages him. Then Rama again says, Lakshmana, you have spoken very wisely as a wise man. He talks about 3 qualities. You have spoken like such a friend, and you have supported me in all aspects, my dear brother, and he praises him. And after that, now it's almost the time is done, and Sugriva has not yet arrived, and Rama is not happy with him. And meanwhile, let's see what's going on in Kishkinda. In Kishkinda, Sugriva is reveling in all the palatial comforts and in all the regal fortunate things that happen in the palace. And Hanuman reminded him, O King Sugriva, you know that one who forgets the promise given to a friend is committing a sin. And you, who never forget such things, you should remember the promise you have given to Ramachandra. With a single arrow, he has not only got your indebtedness, by killing both your brother and also your indebtedness. So now you are indebted to Rama, you should help him. Remember, Sugriva, that as long as Rama doesn't remind us, that means we are still within the deadline. But if once Rama reminds us, that means that we have gone past the deadline. Remember this. Swiftly send your troops and scouts all over the world and summon all the Vanaras all around the planet. Let them come here. Then when Hanuman reminded Sugriva like that, Sugriva said, my dear Hanuman, yes, you are right. So he called Neela and said, go ahead and please summon all the monkeys and tell them that within 15 days of time they should be here in my presence. If not, they will all be executed. This is Sugriva's order. Actually, when you compare, there are so many things for comparisons, right? They say, the beauty of a peacock's feather. I'm talking about the heights of something, for white color, what do you say? Like, it's as white as Himalayas or like that. Like that, this decree of Sugriva, the way he disciplined all the Vanaras is taken to a height in Ramayana. They say if it is an order, it is a Sugriva's order. It is like it is taken to that height. If nobody comes there, within that 15 days they will be executed. That is Sugriva's decree. That's why they say, even our elders, when they used to tell us something, they say, this is Sugriva Agnya, you have to do it. So, such is the power of Sugriva. Otherwise, the monkeys, to discipline them, it's very hard. You need such a powerful warrior. That's why, Vali was able to control and bring all these monkeys under one umbrella and, make them in a disciplined army. So now when Sugriva said that, Neela went forward and then, he summoned all the monkeys to come and then they went. And then Sugriva went inside again into Kishkinda. He came out and ordered this one and then he went back again. This was mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana because Sugriva didn't come and apprise Rama of his actions. He could have come now and said, I have already taken the necessary steps, I have sent already, the troops, they are coming. But he didn't do that. So he went back, and then on Prasravana, let's see what's happening. There Rama is depressed, and he called Lakshmana, and he shows the signs of the autumn season. Now he describes the entire autumn season. Look at the Sharad Rutu, look at the clouds, they are very bright in color now. They are not dark anymore. If you see, just after rains, the clouds are very bright in color. This is a technique employed in paintings. When you want to show the mood of an after rainy effect, you paint your clouds very bright, and sky a little dark. So that shows it's a rainy season. So Rama is showing the same thing. Look at the clouds, they are very bright in color. Look at all the 7-leaved banana plantations, all the plantain trees. They are all now fully blossomed, laden with fruit. It's a time of the autumn season, and Sugriva has not arrived yet to my presence. And I am anguished because Sita, it's getting delayed to liberate Sita. And Rama wept, and he said to Lakshmana, Lakshmana, you go and tell that Sugriva, you remind him that the path in which his brother went is still open, it's not tapered yet. So I will send him also in that path if he doesn't listen to me. Then when Rama said that, Lakshmana, you needless to say about the fury of Lakshmana. He is waiting. That anger which was not given vent in Ayodhya, that anger which was not given vent on Sorpanaka or Kara and Dushana, now he's got the chance to let his anger fall on Sugriva. But Lakshmana says, my dear brother, these monkeys do not understand what gratitude is. If you treat them nobly, they are not going to pay you back in such noble attitude. So I will go and kill that Sugriva and annihilate all the monkeys, and let's go and destroy Lanka also. And when Lakshmana spoke in such tone, Rama called him back and said, my dear Lakshmana, a wise person like you should not talk like this. You should never talk about killing a friend. He has taken my shelter, I cannot kill him. Only remind him that he has gone past the deadline, and tell him in a friendly and courteous tone that he has to attend me. And if he doesn't listen, then warn him of his actions. But Sugriva, as I know, will listen to you. Just go in a friendly tone and tell him. And when Rama said that, Lakshmana went to Kishkindha. But while going, like a mighty elephant, he struck down Salavrakshas and Arjuna trees and many other trees just with his hand. And he has made that path as a one-way path, as if an elephant has passed through that forest and all the trees are fallen. He was so angry, he was smashing all the trees left and right, and then he went and stood in front of Kishkindha. Then all the Vanaras who were guarding the gateways of Kishkindha saw Lakshmana. They trembled in fear. They squeaked in fear. Then they jumped out, and then they took boulders and trees first to throw on Lakshmana. They thought it was somebody else, but when they saw Lakshmana, they were terrified. Lakshmana was angered. He was like Rudra at the end of time. Then when they saw Lakshmana, they were all afraid. They threw all the stones, and then they went inside Kishkindha, and then they informed Angada. And then Angada came forward. But before Angada went and saluted in front of Sugriva and told him, Ruma and Sugriva, and told him that Lakshmana has arrived and he is wrath with anger. And after that, two monkeys named Plaksha and Prabhava, they also came inside, and then they told Sugriva that, my dear Sugriva, Lakshmana is there at the gateways of Kishkindha, and he is very angry. He is furious. Now you have to go and surrender to him. Then Sugriva immediately got up and said, why should Raghava or Lakshmana should be angry on me? What have I done? I'm doing all my duties. There is no reason for anger. But maybe it could be that my enemy monkeys have gone to Rama and told something bad about me. That could be the reason of their wrath. Raghavas are not like that. They do not display anger on their friends. Then Sugriva summoned Angada first and asked him to go and talk, and then he asks Tara to go and speak to Lakshmana. But first Angada comes and he asks Lakshmana. Then Lakshmana tells him fondly, go and inform your father that he has missed the deadline. Tell him that Lakshmana has come here and he should heed to my advice and attend Rama very soon. Then Angada went inside, and we'll stop here and let's see what's going to happen next week. How Tara is going to talk to Lakshmana and pacify him, and then Sugriva goes to Ramachandra, and while he is talking to Ramachandra, all the billions and billions of monkeys flowing, and then they stand in front of Rama. Then Sugriva explains them the geography of it, which is very interesting. He tells the east, north, and west and south. He explains the entire geography to all the Vanaras. So we'll see that next week. Mangalam Koslendraya Mahaniya Gunatmane Chakravarti Tanujaya Sarvabhaumaya Mangalam. Any questions?